lots 12, 14, 23, 24, and 101 to 105. Mr. Kravitz.
Yeah, I want to start from the beginning in a conversation with David Leozzi today, and I thought it was important to start with, you don't normally approve things like this that come out of the planning board. An analogy would be a simple subdivision where you need surety to ensure that the town can construct the roadway properly and whatnot. But in this instance, and of course those items are approved by the finance director or with the planning board, such as bonds and whatnot, but the developer in this case had requested an agreement which you have here. And the planning board cannot enter the town into a binding agreement with this. So that's really the only reason it's here. And what it entails is Gary explained this at one of the meetings, it was August 19th. I had done some research on trying to establish an appropriate amount that the town should retain to decommission these solar fields, should that be necessary. And the numbers I came back to was 35,000 per megawatt. And so that's what this reflects based on the number of megawatts. And so there's a 10% amount up front of the total 192,000. So 19.2 is due up front, and then the remaining 172,000 will be deposited in escrow when they obtain a building permit. It's going to take some time to clear the site. We're not going to do that until, like it says here, the spring of 2020. So this will be kind of a template we use. The planning board has been clear, telling developers we're requesting cash. Of course, if someone gives us some checks, if you can clear that, it wouldn't need to come before you. But if other developers want to do this by agreement, then we would be back. But that's really all it is. This is for the King Solar project, which is just south of Holdingsl. It's a 6.48 megawatt project.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So, in another agenda item, there was the whole discussion about like the next agenda item, there was like all those pages in terms of like zoning and everything like that. And one of them, the line of it was the solar overlay district. And so, in reading that, it says here that the amount of said decommissioning fund shall be calculated by an independent firm selected by the town. So it sounds like we're kind of internally determining the forecasting price of decommissioning. So this is outside, so that's why. So we don't follow similar practice. Okay.
Could you explain it again? Why don't we follow that?
Well, the overlay zone is very specific.
Oh, it's only the overlay?
Right. Well, that's what he was saying.
Well, so that's why I was curious. Why don't we keep it consistent?
It's going to be consistent. It's going to be 35,000 megawatt.
Okay.
Well, this current one's coming in 29.7, right?
30? I'm sorry.
29,629 is what it's coming in.
11, 35,
So can I pose this?
30,000.
Can I pose this if we're going to decommission in terrain, where it's located, access to? Sometimes it may be more money than 29,600. Each project is different. So are we looking to take this to be consistent, $30,000 per megawatt? Is that what we're doing?
Correct.
Well, we're going to have a whole, I mean, this is going to come up later on in the meeting, so I'm just a little curious, you know, it's $3,000 megawatt, excuse me, $29,629 a megawatt, 62 cents. So
This is a 6.4 megawatt project
Yeah, 6.48,
and
yeah.
at $30,000 per megawatt.
yeah, a little less than 30, okay. So my question was then, is this the direction? We're going to find out later on, because I think we're going to hand something over to the planning board as far as reviewing decommission and approving moratorium. All this stuff should weigh into what's on the agenda coming up.
Tom, it's my understanding that it's actually the council that sets decommissioning fee. Am I reading it wrong?
The overlay? The
No,
overlay?
in the whole overall page. Ordinance, not just the overlay, in the decommissioning part.
I might add, Mr. President, that, I mean, this is before you. When I received it from the developer, I questioned Mr. Leozzi to get his advice as to whether or not I had the authority to sign it based on planning board action, or if the council approval was advised by him, and council approval was advised.
So I would think that would be.
That is what we did.
That would be going forward on any of these.
And so my question is, and I've raised this question before, and I'm just thinking in terms of consistency. So this is a cash bond, but in a lot of these projects, they go into escrow.
It's not a cash.
So this thing is living with cash bond. So in a legal setting, though, will this hold as a cash bond, or could they say we should put an escrow, or is it a upfront type deal, and that's kind of how it advances into maturity?
The terminology here is terminology that the solicitor developed. Whether you call it an escrow or a cash bond, it is a circumstance where the town will be holding the cash in an account that is in an appropriate financial institution. That's basically. When we use the term bond, we do have the AEP project that was built off of Pound Hill and Tiff Road. Was secured with a bond. Communities across the country are recognizing that that's a difficult thing to do because bonds need to be renewed.
Right.
We just went through a renewal of that process on the former AEP project, now I don't know what it's called, Turning Point.
This is Turning Point.
Yeah, actually,
What
I'm
the
sorry,
one?
I'm getting the sites confused, but no. They were the same. Anyway, my advice would be to stick with the securing cash because it could be very easy in the future for someone somewhere to fail to manage the renewal of a bond, and once it has expired, it's done. And so we're trying to learn as fast as we can. I think the whole country is trying to learn how to deal with these things. And we're trying to keep up.
Mr. President, bonding companies are not in the business of giving back money. So if you call a bond, and we've seen this in town before, just the discussion of litigation costs kind of makes you back off. So we've had this discussion about going with cash. It's the way to go. Calling a bond is very, very difficult. The only thing is, maybe I'm splitting hairs, but under recitals, the last whereas, it says a deposit of total cash bond. Get it? Because if we get into the agreement, it says an interest-bearing account. Maybe we should insert, just for continuity, we insert up there in the last whereas, a deposit, a total cash bond and an interest-bearing account, just so there's no question. Get it? It's under the agreement, but I'd just like to see it all over the place. Is that too much asked, or is that,
No, I think it's important that you're discussing what the terms would be in terms of no fun intended. I understand it's already been signed, but Dave wrote it, and you're not going to hurt yourself discussing it here and then continuing it so that when he comes back, but it is in all essence a cash bond to be used by the town as surety so that when the project's life is over, you can have assurances that you can remove this stuff which has no useful life in that way. It's really junk for expression.
My concern is that I've raised this numerous times, is what happens if these companies go under, right? So this is saying that if in the event there's a violation, we can withdraw from the thing. So if we withdraw from this fund, if we can't recover that money in any means whatsoever, how do we take care of these things down the line if we're short? We just say we're going to take 80% of the panels and leave the last 20 if we have to decommission them, or what? So is the 10% a good? That's what I'm trying to get at. Is how do we calculate the total removal cost if there were potential violations in place? And is it 10%? Is it 25% over what we anticipate? That's why I'm kind of.
I couldn't begin to conceive a scenario and project policy from it. We have the 10% incidentally came from my request just to deal with that exact circumstance. Should post land clearing but pre-building permit. Let's say something happened with the company and they had cleared the site and they walked. Especially the King site, it's quite a slope that's going to be graded, so we would want to have those funds to address soil erosion, sediment control. And that's really where it started. To Gary's point about, there's not enough of these out there that have lived the life of 25 years to know what's proper here. Everyone's kind of flying by the seat of their pants. I know, like Paul, you had mentioned, isn't an appropriate amount. It's like, I haven't come across bonding averages over all the municipalities in the country, like based on the type of system. They're all graded differently based on if they have rotating panels, some are fixed. Some sites are facing south already, like King and Slope, so there's just so many variables with that we just went with averages from different states in our region, New York, Connecticut, whatnot, so. It seems like an appropriate number. We'll have to see. One thing I don't feel comfortable with is having a bonding company guarantee something 25 years out. Like, that's why I want the money up front. That's most important to me, I think, now at this point. So I've noted Paul's comment here, which is fine. We're just going to account for the last whereas. It seems appropriate.
That's a minor point. But you do agree with the comment that each development is different, slopes and access.
Depends on the panels, the
Bringing in
electrical
the
conduit.
So how do we go down this road then? It appears that you want to, back to that term, you want a cookie cutter, decommissioning fee. You want to set one price for decommissioning, but
Right.
it may be different for it. We don't know what it's going to be.
I can continue researching. I would ask that you approve this one, and I can keep looking into
Obviously,
it.
they've agreed to it.
We have
No. I understand. I'm just saying, they've agreed to the number. All I'm saying is, we don't know where it's going to go with others. If we put 30 out there, and they say, well, no, we don't know where that's going to go. That's why I question that. I think that
All I can do is spend
we
more
all agree that
time
it
on
has to come before this board. But there could be a recommendation from the planning board that we don't agree with in reality.
Well, that's why my point was, is why can't we use the same practice? Why can't we have an independent firm that they sponsor to say, hey, let's look at the decommissioning cost here and say this is a reasonable amount, so that we're not putting ourselves in a situation where that we're short money in the future. I'd rather see us go that route. I feel like it's more standardized than, because, I mean, well, none of us are subject matter experts in this, and, you know, I was just reading a thing out there that says, global warming may reduce the amount of electricity these things can generate. It was from MIT, and it's like, the technology is always changing on these things. So I'd rather see us go more towards that route in terms of having an independent firm assess it, and then say, this is based on all these factors, the amount that should be set aside. But I agree, I think this has to come before us.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I can research that. Who knows? Maybe if after the TPE King hears this, he'll just pay us cash.
I mean, it's their money. The reality is, it's their money.
That's correct.
It's going to sit in the account with their money, and the only reason that we might access it is if they walk away or if something happens that they can't fulfill their responsibilities, that money's there.
Right, and if they fulfill their obligations and at the end of whatever time, the equipment is gone and the site is restored, they get their money
The
back.
money gets paid back.
Right. The idea is to have enough money to make sure that they care about.
They don't walk away.
Getting it all done.
They don't walk away.
Exactly. They don't walk away. This will be the second agreement that the town has. The first one was based on $50,000 per megawatt. That's in the bond.
That's a bond. And for the developer, that's probably a cheaper way to go. Because they're not putting out all that money, they're just slowly feeding it, and the responsibility falls on them to bond it. But we need to monitor it, and that's the way you're saying that something could fall through the crack if someone doesn't make sure that the bond is renewed,
Exactly.
and then there's no bond, and then walk away, and then we own a solar farm.
monitoring, make sure it's renewed, and calling the bond itself is quite cumbersome.
Yep. Is there a motion to approve the decommissioning agreement between the town of North Smithfield and TPE King Solar Holdings LLC?
I'll make that motion, and I'll make comment after we get a second.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Zelinski, seconded by Mrs. Bonner. Any discussion?
Mr. President, I just want to make it very clear for the record that establishing the $29,629.62 decommissioning amount per megawatt is not setting a precedent. I want to make it very clear that each project is different. It may cost significantly more than that to set a cash bond in place.
I'm not trying to be difficult, but I don't know where the 29,000, it's $30,000 per megawatt that's applied here for the 6.4 megawatts.
30,000, correct?
Yes.
And you have 6.48?
Yes,
Okay, so basically I took the total amount, 192,000.
it's 6.4.
6.4, yeah, and they divided it, maybe my math is off. It was 29,629. Well, let's just call it 30, let's round it, okay? So I just want to make sure that I'm not setting a precedent that this is what we're going to do in the future, because again, later on in the agenda, we're going to look at a moratorium. And I'm sure the planning board and the public is going to have a lot of input into this.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Mrs. Barnwell? Yes. Mrs. O'Hara? Yes. Mr. Revere?
Yes.
Mr. Zulus?
Yes?
Mr. Patton?
Yes. Next item, discussion